Hello Math 20-2. Today we are looking at expressing quadratic equations or functions in factored form by using the roots. So before we were given the equation and we had to find the roots and we had to find the x-intercepts. Now we're taking the roots and x-intercepts and using that to help us find the equation. Okay? So here is my first few questions. It says, in each of these cases, we want to find the equation in that form, okay, where a is 1. So we're automatically going to assume for these ones that a is 1. Given the following equation, we should be able to make this, which is our roots or zeros, and then translate it to that form. Okay? So first of all, we know that the roots are -7 and 1. All right. So in this case, I know that x is equal to -7, and we know that x is equal to 1. If I was to continue this, we would make them both equal to 0. So x plus 7 is equal to 0, because I have 1 plus 7 to both sides. And we have x minus 1, subtract 1 from both sides, is equal to 0. So here are my two roots, so my two equations. So I know x plus 7 and x plus or subtract 1 are equal to 0. Okay? Now if I want to continue this and put it into that form, all I have to do is multiply these out. And so we're just going to expand it. How do I expand? Well, that's going to be x times x is x squared. Then we go x times 1 is -1x. And then we have 7 times x is plus 7. And then 7 times -1 is -7. Combine these. And I'm going to get x squared plus 6, that's an x there, plus 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. That's it. Let's try the next one here. I might skip a step or two to help us out a bit more. So it says, we want -2 and 3. So once again, we have x is equal to -2 or x is equal to -3. Okay? Continuing this off, we will end up getting, so I'll put them both equal to 0, so we get plus 2 to both sides, plus 2, so we get x plus 2, and this one here is going to be x plus 3 is equal to 0 is equal to 0. So these are my two zeros. So we have x plus 2, x plus 3 is equal to 0. Well, multiply those out, I'm going to get x squared, and then we go 3x, and then 2x plus 5x, and then 3 times 2 is plus 6. Okay, we just expand that out. It's equal to 0. And we are done. Went through that one a little bit faster. The next one here has 0 and 4. So we have x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 4. So I look at that. I know we have x is equal to 0. That stays the same. And here we have x minus 4 is equal to 0. So we have x and x subtract 4. Multiply those in, x by that and x by that, and we're going x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. And that's it. That's in that form. There we go. That wasn't that bad. So I want to go over this here just a little bit with you, just to go over. So the factor, since 2 minus 1 is a factor of the equation, then the x-intercept is going to be 1 over 2. 3 over 4, the x-intercept is going to be -4 over 3. Okay? That's it. Now, if 1 over 2 is an x-intercept, then the factor of the equation is going to be 2x plus, 2x, there we go, 2x minus 1. And this one is going to be 3x minus 4, plus 4. Sorry. So basically, we change the sign. This is what we're adding. This is what we're dividing by. Adding, dividing by. That's kind of like when we did the box method there. We had to divide by the thing in front, see what they are. That's what we do here as well. Kind of neat. Okay? So here is our next one. And it wants us to solve for this one here. It says, in order to express each in factored form, the x-intercepts are 5 over 3 and 5. Okay? So we know x is equal to 3 over 5, and x is equal to 5. Well, the fast way I could do is I know this is the one relating to x. So it's going to be 5x and then minus 3. Or in other words, I'm just going to first multiply both sides by 5, multiply both sides by 5, so I get 5x is equal to 3, and so take away 3, take away 3, so I get 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. Here, I just know it's equal to 5, so it's x, take away 5, minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay? So what is my equation? It's going to end up being this multiplied by that. So we have 5x minus 3 multiplied by x subtract 5. All right? I continue this, and that is equal to 0. I multiply that by that, I get 5x squared. And then I go 5x multiplied by that gives me negative 25x. Then I go 3 multiplied by x is negative 3x. Then I go negative 3 multiplied by 15 is plus 15. Okay, or multiplied by 5. Simplify that, I'm going to end up getting 5x squared plus or minus 28x minus, plus 15 is equal to 0. And that's my solution is all of that, not just that part there. Kind of a bit overboard in my circle. Got ahead of myself. Okay, so that is it. All right, here we go. Example 3. It says, in order to express the quadratic equation factor form, first determine the zeros of the corresponding to be like this. Okay, so he wants to put in factor form. Now, determine the possible quadratic equation where a, b, and c are integers. So all of them could be integers. There's more than one equation we could have there. So I'm going to just go, we know that this is 4x, and then this is negative, so that's going to have to be plus 3. There's one option. And multiplied by, well, x minus 2. Okay? So this is kind of over 1, so you might say 1x and then minus 2. Okay? So we can just go like that. Now, we're just going to multiply everything together. 4x times x is 4x squared. And then we have 4 times negative 2x, because I do this, multiply by both of these, then I do this, multiply by both of those. So 4x times that is negative 8x. Then I go plus 3x, and then minus 6, which gives me 4x squared, minus 5x minus 6 is my answer. And that's equal to 0. And that is one possible solution. There could have been more, but that's the one I want to go with. So then it says, write a different quadratic solution that satisfies. So what's a different one? Well, I could have said multiply everything here by 2, couldn't I? So I multiply everything by 2. I could say 8x squared minus 10x minus 12 is equal to 0. Because this, if I put a 2 in front there, that has nothing to do with my zeros. I could have put a 10 in front of there and had 40, minus 50, minus 60. I could have done anything like that. Okay? So that's why there's many different ways of doing it. All right. Here we go. Next one says, quadratic function in the form like this. It has the zeros of 4 and negative 8. If we have f of 1 is equal to 9. Well, that one now is a little bit more complicated. Right? So, how are we going to solve this? We're going to set it up the same way as we always do. We know f of x is equal to a. Okay, I'm going to set up this way. A, x minus 4, and then x plus 8. All right? Now, what do I know here? I know one point. If this is 1, if x is 1, we know that this is going to be, my y value is going to be 9. Okay? So I just put in those there. So I know if x is 1, y is going to be 9. This is my y value. So 9 is the same as a when x is 1 minus 4 multiplied by 1 plus 8. All right? Now we're going to continue this. This will help us solve for that a. So I'm going to end up getting a, and we have negative 3. 9 is equal to negative 3 multiplied by 9. Okay? This and this will divide each other, so I get 1 is equal to negative 3a. So I end up getting a is equal to, just wait, see, oh, that's negative 9. So negative 1 is equal to negative 3a. So then I end up getting a is equal to 1 over 3. Now, we plug that back in for my a. So I have f of x is equal to 1 over 3, and I'm going to have x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 8. Now we could multiply this all out and get into that equation. So first thing is, once again, we have to find that a. How do we do that? We put in our roots. We know these are our roots, right? Then, using that, we can solve for f of x. We know when x is 1, that f of x is 9, okay? So now, we go back here, and I'm going to just multiply everything else. I have 1 over 3, and this is going to be x times x, it's x squared, and then we have 8 minus 4, which will give me plus 4x, and then we have minus 32. And we want 1/3 of all of that. So I'm going to get x squared over 3 plus 4 over 3x minus, well, 32 divided by 3 is going to be, can't go anymore, 32 over 3. And I'm just going to leave it like that because decimals are nasty. This is an exact form. Okay, next one. It says, class example 5. So we're given this function here. It says, show how to write the function in factored form using the graph of the function. Oh, so let's use the graph of the function. So first, I'm going to take my graphing calculator here. And there's my equation. Move it up. So let's put that equation. So we have 6x squared, and we're going to plus 8x, and we're going to minus 14. So my graph's going to look something like that. Now, I should have probably put it down more because my y-intercept's 14. So my window, I'm going to change my y-min to 60. There we go. So it goes a little bit more, and I could even narrow it so we can see everything better. So for the factored form for that, because that's going to be hard to factor, we could go a little bit more. All we're going to do is find the x-intercepts of this graph. So I'm going to second calculate, and I'm going to find my x-intercepts of the graph. Just show you the graph, and we want my zeros. So left bound. Left bound of the first one, that's left, push enter, go right, down, right there I am, enter, because that's right of that, and then we're going to go up. That's about my guess, enter. So I get that right there. Okay, now how do I put that into a fraction? That's going to be around 7 over 3. Okay, if I do this, that is negative 2 and 1 over 3, which is the same thing as, because 0.333 is 0.333 is 1/3. So that is the same thing as, that's like 6 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is negative 7 over 3. There is one x-intercept. Now my second x-intercept, so I'm just going to put that right there. Right there maybe. So my second x-intercept we have to find is going to be, so we want left bound. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Oh, I have to do it again. I pushed the wrong button. Left bound, we're going to say there, and the next one I'm going to push over there. Okay? So those are my two things. My guess, around there. That's close enough. I get 1. And my other one is 1. So my graph is going to look like this. And we're going to say this here is 14. Negative 14. Okay? Now, verify result by using decomposition to express the function factor form. So now, we look at this. These are my two. So we want to use decomposition. So if I was to do this and find everything, okay, so it says, now show how to write the function in factored form using the graph of the function. So we found that. So I have, let's take a look at this. We are going to have 3x plus 7. Let's see, plus 7 multiplied by x, subtract 1. Okay? And we have f of x, and we have a. Okay? Kind of like what we did before. Now we just need any point there. Okay? So show how we could do it. Let's find any single point. Okay? Well, I know the y-intercept is 14. Okay? So when y is 0, or sorry, when x is 0, when f of x, or I'll put it right here, when f of x, when f of 0, we get 14. So I'm going to put 14 is equal to a, and then 0 plus 7 is 7, and then negative 1, which gives me negative 7a and 14. So I divide this by negative 7, divide this by negative 7. I'm going to end up getting a is equal to negative 2. So what do I end up getting for my equation in factored form? I'm going to end up getting, is it negative 2 or positive? Oh, it's negative 14. So I get positive 2. Okay? There. So now what am I going to end up getting? I'm going to end up getting 2 is equal to 2. And I'm going to get 3x plus 7. Then I'm going to get x minus 1. Okay? And that's it. That is my equation in factored form. Now, it says, verify the result by using decomposition to express the function in factored form. So now it wants us to use decomposition. So by factoring it ourselves. So let's try this one. We get, I'm going to say we have f of x is equal to 6x squared plus 8x minus 14. So we look at this more. Now, what can we divide everything by? 2. So we're going to left with 6 or 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. Now what can we do? We're going to have to factor that out. I'm going to use my box method. 3 times 7 is 21. And then we have 4 on the bottom. That's going to be negative 24. Okay? So, that's going to be 7 and negative 3. So I look at that, I'm going to have, we must divide both of those, 7 over 3, and we have negative 3 over 3. Well, negative 3 over 3 is the same as, this is 7 over 3 and negative 1 over 1. So I have 2, and I'm going to have 3x minus 7, or sorry, plus 7, and we're going to have x minus 1. Right? This is x's, x's. Okay? X, x. Continue that out, and that's it. That's essentially what we had there. Okay? So that's good. So we could do it factoring the other way. So hopefully you understood this. Good luck to you on your next assignment.